All right, look, they lied to you. They told you that there was a proven path to freedom, and they lied. They said, go to school, get good grades, pick a safe career, work hard, stack your savings, retire, and then finally you can live free. You get a job, you earn a title, you build a resume, but somehow you're still stuck in someone else's system. It's the infamous rat race. But here's something that'll piss the gatekeepers off. What they'll never admit to is that this isn't a race. It's a trap. Because even if you win it, you're still a rat. So what do you do when you realize that the system that you were taught to follow is the same one that's been stealing your freedom? Hear me and hear me clearly, all right? You're not behind. You're just playing the wrong game. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the exact shift that helped me reclaim my time, energy, and peace without losing any income. What's good, family? I'm Justin J. Dunn, and I help entrepreneurs, creators, and experts turn their average businesses into addicting brands without burning out or selling their time for money. And I'm making this video because I've seen too many brilliant minds trapped in a game that they were never meant to play. They're doing everything right, but they're exhausted, invisible, and they're stuck. So in this video, I'm going to show you why your work ethic isn't the problem, but your system is. We're going to expose the real trap behind modern entrepreneurship and give you 3 shifts that'll finally help you build a business that gives you time, freedom, and peace. So if you're an expert, freelancer, service provider, creator, or coach who's doing all the right things, right? You're delivering value, you're closing clients, you're stacking revenue, and it still feels like you're burning out in this process. If you ever looked around and thought, like, isn't this supposed to feel better? You're not alone, because the people winning today are not the ones working harder. They're the ones working smarter, with a brand, with valuable offers, and a system that consistently works for them. They've stopped chasing stability and they started building leverage. This is the shift that I made. It's the shift that my clients are making. And this is the shift that I want to show you today. I call it the rabbit race. It's faster, smarter, and it's built for today. Where it all changed for me was just a few years ago. I'm running my branding agency and I landed a $75,000 project. I talked about this in another video. But on paper, it was the biggest win of my career. It was the kind of deal that I thought like I was chasing forever. It was the big client, the big check, like all the high stakes, right? It's everything that you dream about when you're self-employed. But 2 weeks in, I realized something like, I just sold my soul. The demands were nonstop. The energy was draining. No time for my wife and son. And I found myself waking up hating what I used to love. I wasn't building freedom. I was building what I call a pretty prison. That moment in that project forced me to ask a very tough question. What's the point of success if I hate the life that it gives me? That was the day I decided I would never again build a business that depended on my burnout. And that decision changed everything for me. So let me introduce you to the game that you've been playing today. So every entrepreneur or creator I've ever worked with, no matter what industry, is in one of these 3 zones. The first zone is the starter zone. In this zone, you're making somewhere between $0 and $5,000 a month. This is where you're still figuring things out. You have no clear process. You have inconsistent income and everything just feels new, kind of overwhelming. The next one is the hustler zone. Here you float between $5,000 and $50,000 a month. You're skilled, successful, but you're stuck. You've got clients, you're making money, but you're juggling everything alone. Burnout's either creeping in or it's already kicked down your door. And you can't scale because you're the system. And without you, everything breaks. Then the last zone is the thriver zone. This is where we all desire to live and play. Here, you're doing $50,000 or $100,000 a month. You've built infrastructures, you've got systems, scalable offers, and consistent leads are coming into the machine. Your brand works even when you don't, and you're leading and not just doing. Hey, what's up, family? Look, thank you for kicking it with me on this video, but I got something for you. If any of this is making sense to you right now and it's hitting home, I built a tool for you that'll help you find out how stuck you are in your business and what's keeping you stuck. I call it the Stuck Score. It only takes 2 minutes and the results will tell you exactly what to fix. You can take it right now at stuckscore.app or just stick around and I'll walk you through how to apply the results at the end. Let's get back to the video. So if I had to guess, you're watching this video right now because you're stuck in the hustler zone, because that's where most people get trapped. This is the zone most of my clients live in before working with me. It's a sneaky zone because it feels like progress. You're making money, clients are happy, but it's actually just a pretty prison. You're working 12-hour days, clients are pouring in, but so is fatigue. You're tired. And the longer you stay in the zone, the closer you get to one of 2 outcomes: burnout or give up. But before you get to beating yourself up, let me make this crystal clear. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just operating inside a system that was never designed to set you free. Because the old rules of work don't work anymore. You've been taught to work harder, wait your turn, and earn your shot. But what nobody tells you is you don't get free by grinding harder. Remember, we all subscribe to that once upon a time? You get free by building smarter. So if you're stuck, it's not because you lack skill, it's because you lack scale. They're two completely different things, and only one of them breeds burnout. Honestly, if you're building a brand right now, you're probably doing a lot of things right, but you're doing it in a business model that'll never get you free. It'll never get you time freedom. It'll never get you scalable income, creative fulfillment, true autonomy. And that's what we really want in life. So if your calendar's full, but your soul's empty, that's a sign that it's time to evolve, because you didn't start your business to become the busiest person that you know. You started it to live a life on your terms. So now the real question is, how do you break free from this cycle? How do you move from hustler to freedom, from time for money to leverage authority? Let me show you how this works. Here's what nobody talks about when it comes to the hustler zone. At first, it feels like freedom. You may have left your job, you close your first few clients, you raise your rates, and you start seeing momentum. You finally hit your first $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $20,000 months. But eventually the projects stack up. You can't keep up with your DMs, calls. Your weekends start to blur into Mondays. And the work that used to energize you now makes you sick just thinking about it. You're the business, which means you're the bottleneck. And that's the problem. So until you shift from selling time to selling transformation, you'll always be stuck in your success. So how do you escape? For one, it's not some productivity hack that you can learn or buy. I tried that. What you need is a new business model, a system that lets you package your genius, automate your client flow, and build a brand that works while you rest, and you don't even have to start all over. Right now, you're either running a rat race or playing in a rabbit race. Here's the difference. The rat race tells you to move carefully, plan more, wait longer, be perfect. But what does that actually get you? A few promotions, a nice title, a full calendar, and a dream that keeps getting postponed. What's funny is, even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. And I don't mean that in some condescending way. It's just logic. It's called a rat race for a reason. Chasing somebody else's timeline, inside somebody else's system. You're just a cog in the machine. But on the other hand, the rabbit race rewards speed, action, presence, visibility. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the first person to move, the first person to show up and share your genius. Because in today's economy, people trust momentum. They follow energy. They buy confidence. The person who wins isn't the one with the best strategy on paper. It's the one who's publishing, launching, optimizing, while everybody else is overthinking. That's why the rabbit always beats the rat, because the rabbit doesn't need permission. It makes moves. And once you learn to operate like this with a brand, a message, a system built to scale, you stop chasing opportunity and you start creating it. So let me show you how to win this game, because escaping this hustler zone isn't about doing more. It's about mastering the right few things. And if I were starting all over again, these are the only 3 skills that I focus on right now. Skill number 1 is to package what you already know into a do-it-yourself or done-with-you offer. Right now, you already know how to solve a pain that somebody else is currently in. It's the reason why people pay you right now. So people will continue to gladly pay you if you continue to get them out of that pain. This isn't a new skill or offer that you're creating. You're just adding a new transformational offer on top of what you're already doing. But the question here is, and I want you to ask yourself, how can I package up what I'm already doing? How can I package up a transformational offer into a do-it-yourself or a done-with-you offer rather than a done-for-you service? That's the difference. No more done-for-you offers. This is an offer someone will happily pay $3,000 to $10,000 for because it solves a painful, urgent problem. And if you're thinking right now, well, Justin, people don't really know what I do. That's just a packaging problem. Your genius is real. Your skills are real. But if it's not structured, branded, and positioned to solve a specific pain, you'll always feel invisible. So here's the shift. You're not selling services or some freelance consulting with this offer. What you're selling is a clear path from pain to payoff. You turn your knowledge into a system or framework. your specific method into a product. And the moment you do this, everything changes. I help my clients escape the time for money trap by packaging their genius up into a signature system and products every single day. If you want to learn how to do this for your business, I'll give you an opportunity to work with me at the end of this video. So after you package up your genius, skill number 2 is to master your messaging. The one thing I tell my clients is clarity converts. I want you to know that confused customers do not buy. So you have to get good at articulating the value that you provide. This doesn't mean get good on camera. It means getting clear in your communication. Can you articulate what you do in a clear, quick, and memorable way? Can you do it in 30 seconds? How about one sentence? No? Don't worry, I got you. This is an exercise that I do with my clients to help get them clear messaging every single time for their ideal person. All right? It goes like this. I help person get power in time without paying so that they can pay off. Here's an example for me specifically. I'm Justin J. Dunn. I help burnt out entrepreneurs make more money working less in just 30 days without burnout so that they can build a life that they desire and deserve. Clear, right? Crystal clear. The moment I say that, you understand what I do, who I do it for, how I do it, and then the amount of time, super important, the amount of time that it takes to do it. All right, can you say something that moves people? Can you tell a story that gets people to act? Can you make your expertise land in a way that builds trust instantly? Because the internet doesn't reward the best kept secret anymore. It rewards the most resonating, understood, memorable expert. And that's you. Whether you believe it or not, it's the truth. When you learn how to communicate with clarity and confidence, your brand becomes magnetic. And you stop having to convince because your clarity does the converting. This is about saying something so resonating that people feel like you've been reading their diary. Like you found a way to articulate what they've been feeling for years, but they just didn't know how. What's funny is I'm probably doing that for you right now because I've mastered my messaging for a specific person. You. So after you can clearly articulate your zone of genius, the last skill you need is to show up consistently. Ooh, I know this one hurts because this is the popular one we hear all the time. Because today, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And if you're out of mind, you're out of money. The only reason more people aren't buying from you at a higher rate is because they don't know you. They haven't seen you. They haven't heard of you. They haven't felt your point of view, your perspective enough to believe in your solution yet. But this is what publishing more content solves. And it's not about being viral. It's about being visible. When you publish with rhythm and repetition, your audience can't help but to see you as the go-to expert. Honesty hour, I struggled with showing up consistently online for years. And a big part of that was because I didn't have the first 2 skills mastered, especially the first one. I was tired. I was burnt out. I didn't have time to be in my business and then go and create content, get in front of a camera and go make some content. We're creators. Our content is fueled by our energy. It's fueled by how we feel. So since I was burnt out in the business, I didn't have time or energy or the heart to even get in front of a camera and share. I just didn't. That's just how it works. So once you get those first 2 skills locked down, showing up consistently is, as my son would say, easy peasy. So now that you know these 3 skills, let's talk about what to do next. So let me tell you something, and I hope you hear my heart on this one. If you're tired, if you've been grinding for years, if you're great at what you do, but somehow you still feel behind, you're not the problem. You've just been taught to win a game that doesn't exist anymore. They told you to play it safe, to wait your turn, earn your time, to prove your value with years of grind and hustle. But that game is rigged. And if you keep playing it, the outcome is always the same: burnout, stress, and stuck in a business that only works when you work. But there's another way. You could build a system that scales your skill and not your time. You can shift from chasing to choosing, from trying to be everywhere to becoming memorable forever. And right now it starts with a 2-minute decision. So here's what I want you to do next. I want you to go to stuckscore.app and take the Stuck Score. It's just a quick 16-question self-assessment that shows you exactly which zone you're operating from. And more importantly, how to escape the hustler trap before it costs you your creativity, your peace, and more importantly, your business. It's fast, it's free, and the results will show you in 2 minutes what most people never find out in 2 years. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is your sign. Take the quiz, get your score so that we can build a business that sets you free instead of drains you dry. Because you're not lazy. You're not late. You're not behind. You're actually good at what you do. You're too good to stay stuck. So let's build a business that you both desire and deserve. I'm rooting for you. Peace.